yeah. We talked about the technology, talked about the digital platform. That it's all the end result of what you do in embedding a strategy and identifying who you are and who you want to be as you go forward. And so when I first came, I used to tell everybody that we were a coffee concept disguised as donut shops. We had lost sight of the fact that over 50% of our sales were in the coffee or coffee related category. It wasn't about donuts anymore. It wasn't time to make the donuts any longer. But I think that's a huge transitional because the profit picture was very, very different. Coffee is a very profitable item. Donuts is less profitable because you have to throw them out every day. There's a lot of waste. There's an awful lot of production. So we began to shift the paradigm of who we were. So when we did that, we had to sort of understand several things. One, it was what is it that drove those quiet 50% of the store sales to coffee? And so we put our group together, some good consultants, and for 3 days, smoke came out of the chimney, and we had our answer. Here's the strategic heartbeat of Dunkin' Donuts. It was rituals that revive. And once we understood that, what was the ritual? You don't come in 3 times a day for donuts, just to have a relaxing half hour before you pick the kids up from school, whatever it might be. And that then became our strategic heartbeat. And then we went out and we said, okay, if it's coffee and it's that ritual, do the same. Who's our competitors out there? We took that consumer insight team and we said, go out and find 1,000, I think it was 1,000 Starbucks loyalists and pay them to come to Dunkin' for the next 30 days. And do the same for Dunkin' and tell them to go to Starbucks for 30 days and come back and find out what the rituals were that were different and could we compete as we moved out of our core markets. And sure enough, it came back that over 75% of the people out there had the Dunkin' attributes of our core customer. And they would go into a Starbucks and the review is, geez, what are these couches doing in here? I got those at home. Give me my coffee. I have things to do. That ritual said that was on my way to whatever it was, work, take the kids to school, whatever it may be. And then with the Starbucks customers came in and said, Dunkin', geez, where am I going to hang out? There's no tables or chairs. There's nothing comfortable here. No Wi-Fi. So and then when we compared the two, we knew the attributes were there. And from there, it became rituals that revive became, I get it now. America runs on Dunkin'. And from that day forward, the whole culture of the company was tilted toward that coffee, that frequency, get you in, get you out, get you on the way. And so the whole thing wasn't just a tagline. It was an evolution of our strategic heartbeat. And we developed that in 2005 and it's 2021. It's still the strategic heartbeat. Coming out of this pandemic environment, that the leaders of brands can't forget what got them there pre-COVID, pre-pandemic. Dunkin's America runs on Dunkin'. You can't go away and say we're going to put couches and soft chairs in. We want you to be more relaxed. That's not us. You know what I'm saying? So people have to be careful that they don't overreact and change the brand that got them. It's just how do you tweak it to adapt to the new customer experience and behavior. But keep your blue collar. For us, it's our blue collar soul of Dunkin'. And let's not lose sight of that because that's what made us great. And it's the same thing I do when I went to Popeyes. I went back to Al Copeland, the founder of Popeyes. So what happened here? Because we took over the company, had gone bankrupt. And we went back to our roots in New Orleans and Southern Louisiana and reestablished a menu format that said, we're not just fried chicken. We're about a culture of Louisiana. And to this day, it's called Louisiana Kitchen, Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. It's evolved. It was, so you have to find out what made you great. Let's not lose sight of that and try to reinvent something that just got lost along the way. It didn't disappear. People ignored it. Those brands that make it back, go back to that heartbeat, that ritual that revives, that sense of who we are. The way I look at it is that I'm always a believer that technology is great. And, we talk about remote workplaces and things like that. People have a need to be together. So I still have this underlying belief that people want to congregate again and hear the noise and socialize and things like that. So that remains to be seen, because this pandemic has changed our culture and how people think. I mean, you got people screaming at you if you're not wearing a mask. I mean, who'd you ever thought that that would ever happen in this country? So it shows you people are a little scared, in fear of something that's going to affect them. So how is that going to, how are we going to congregate again in a safe and efficient manner? So we have to sort of look at that first, because that could be a huge change. Because if in fact people still want to be together, but not in the way they were before, then it's fundamentally changed. It's delivery, it's takeout, it's pickup, it's drive-throughs. There's a whole number of things that make it, first of all, it's a lot easier. You're not waiting any lines. You're not, not miscommunicating with the server or the attendant at the cash register or the POS system, because it's still pretty expensive. And that's a fundamental change. And that makes, what that says is, how are you going to grow going forward? Are you going to still have brick and mortar? Are you going to pay those high rents and have landlords on your case every time you miss a half a day of payment? Or is it going to be easier to do it in another fashion and get that product to the customers? I can see mobile food trucks becoming very elegant and stationed in this place where it looks like a restaurant. Meanwhile, the operator is not paying rent. He's not got a huge cost of a bank loan for building out that store. Is that something that's going to be new and different? Comes to your neighborhood, the old good humor days.